went down en route to North Korea after Trump's warning. Here's who is on board. Tensions with North Korea over the past couple weeks have been incredibly strained following President Trump's airstrikes in Syria. As Kim Jong-un continues to rattle his sabers and spout off with threats of nuclear war, more of our forces continue to be deployed to the Korean peninsula as a show of force. Now breaking reports are coming in of a tragic event that just happened to one of our F-18E Super Hornet fighter jets after a pilot attempted to land on the nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, the USS Carl Vinson, in the middle of the ocean. Times of San Diego reports that as the pilot of the F-18 Super Hornet was attempting to land that something went horribly wrong as he was nearing the massive naval vessel. He apparently lost control, and the jet crashed. Narrowly missing his death, the pilot was thankfully able to eject where he was rapidly rescued by a nearby helicopter. So far, no major injuries have been reported. A statement from the commander of 7th Fleet Public Affairs read, "A pilot safely ejected and was quickly recovered by a helicopter assigned to HSC-4 aboard USS Carl Vinson while conducting routine flight operations during a transit." The incident occurred as the F-18E assigned to Carrier Air Wing 2 was on final approach to USS Carl Vinson, the statement continued. The incident is currently under investigation. The pilot is being assessed by the medical team on board USS Carl Vinson and there are no apparent injuries at this time. Times of San Diego reported. The Vinson and its strike group is headed to waters off the Korean peninsula after a training exercise with the Royal Australian Navy. The group's deployment has been extended for 30 days amid rising tensions with Communist North Korea. The Navy said the pilot was being assessed by the medical team on board USS Carl Vinson but had suffered no apparent injuries. The crash is under investigation. View image on Twitter. Conservative Tribune reported. The Carl Vinson, which is based in San Diego, had been near Singapore a couple of weeks ago when it was reported to have been headed toward North Korea, but was later found to have first rendezvoused with elements of the Royal Australian Navy for a training exercise. The incident occurred in the Celebes Sea, which is located between the Philippines and Indonesia, a good distance north of Australia but still a long way south of the Korean peninsula. Thank God that our pilot was able to make it out alive. This just goes to prove what a highly elite military we truly have. The pilot's quick-thinking response from years of training no doubt came into play, as well as the fast reaction of a nearby rescue helicopter. Had this pilot been in the poorly trained North Korean army whose military possessed archaic equipment from the Soviet era, there's no doubt this pilot would be a smoldering ember in the Korean peninsula at this point. Finally, Trump just picked up his phone and did the one thing Obama never could. President Trump just proved to the world why he's already a 10 times better president than Obama ever was. On May 1, 2014, a 30-year-old Egyptian-American humanitarian worker, Aya Hijazi, and her husband, Mohammed Hussein, were imprisoned by the Egyptian government while working with disadvantaged children in Cairo. Obama attempted to negotiate their release for 2 years, but being the terrible president he was, he failed. Lucky for them, President Trump came to the rescue. Using his superior negotiating skills, Trump was able to do in 3 weeks what Obama failed to do in 2 years. Trump personally negotiated their release back to America. They're coming home and they thank Trump saving their lives. We're very grateful that President Trump personally engaged with the issue. Working closely with the Trump administration was very important for my family at this critical time. It let us be reunited as a family. We're so grateful. What an amazing story. Obama never cared enough about these two wonderful people to actually commit to bringing them home. President Trump, however, loves the American people and proved he'll do anything for them. Share this on Facebook if you're thankful that President Trump is here to clean up Obama's mess. Hijazi and Hussein landed at Andrews Air Force Base outside of D.C. around 10 p.m. on Thursday. The couple is scheduled to visit Trump at the White House today in what should be an afternoon filled with praise and joy. Trump's a hero. What he just secretly did for American arrested in Egypt will make you cheer. Donald Trump is a real American hero. He is so kind that he doesn't even need to let the world know. Just check out the amazing thing he did for this American charity worker who was arrested in Egypt. Sohail Hijazi, an Egyptian-American charity worker, has been in jail in Egypt for the past 3 years for human trafficking. She didn't even do it. Well, you can bet that bothered President Trump. She is an American after all. So, during his private meeting with Egyptian President al-Sisi, Trump secretly made a deal to get her back. Last night Hijazi has freed thanks to the efforts of President Trump. She, along with 7 others, was finally acquitted of all of their charges. Hijazi has since been flown privately back to the Joint Base Andrews in Washington, D.C. She then returned to her family. Hijazi founded Belady, which works to help care for street children and get them off the street. Now she can finally get back to her good work of helping others thanks to our wonderful president. Hey, Donald Trump may not have bragged about it, but I see no reason why we can't. If you are proud, then show it by sharing this out. Also leave a prayer for Trump, his family, and Hijazi. Amen. Amen. America in shock. Trump's State Department makes major Hillary Clinton announcement. At the point when Donald Trump crushed Hillary Clinton in the presidential battle, a lot of Americans was anticipating from him to begin a total examination of her private email server for the span of her time as Secretary of State. Unfortunately, it appears as if that won't be completed at last. The Washington Examiner expressed that even with Trump in office, State Department legal counselors demand that they have no goal of chasing for in the past uncovered Clinton messages. All through a hearing on Monday at the U.S. Area Court for the District of Columbia, the State Department revealed that it will continue with endeavors to get conservative watchdog Aggregate Judicial Watch's case attempting to compel them to find Clinton's messages. The watchdog mass still means on utilizing a little piece of the Federal Records Act to weight the State Department into finding the messages. Legal Watch President Tom Fitton was truly certain about his association's failure with respect to Trump's absence of inspiration to assess the claims. What's unusual is that Trump's administration is carrying on with the legal strategy of Obama's administrations to defend Hillary Clinton's email practices, Fitton stated after the hearing. This is a case of the deep state still operating things, with all due respect. The following hearing, for this situation, is set to be hung on April 21st. What do you think about this? Do not hesitate and write your thoughts in the comments section below. Share the truth, be patriots. Thank you for reading. Just in, Trump catches Muslims hurting American girls, makes them pay dearly. President Trump is finally cracking down on one of the most horrific cultural practices being imported by Muslims into this country. Thank goodness. President Trump and the Department of Justice announced a new campaign to end the barbaric practice of female genital mutilation after a Muslim doctor was charged for the crime last week. Vibriat Bart. Jumana Nagrula is an American-trained doctor of Indian descent. She was born in America and her family is part of a Shia Muslim sect within India. Dr. Nagrula was charged on April 13 by Detroit police after they received a tip-off. She now faces a maximum sentence of life in prison. Police charged the doctor for mutilating the genitals of 2 American girls. The 2 7-year-old children were brought by their Somali mothers to have the procedure done. Other victims have been identified by police, who explained that Nagrula has performed the surgery on many young girls, aged 6 to 8, over the course of 12 years. Via BBC. The services of Nagrula were apparently in high demand as parents were driving their children in from outside of the state to have their daughters abused and tortured. This is the first case of systematic female genital mutilation committed by an American on fellow Americans since a law banning the practice was introduced in 1996. Yet, the media remains silent. The Media Research Center, working alongside the anti-terror group Act for America, detailed just how the media has abdicated their duty to inform the public of these crimes. The groups claim those in the media are guilty of aiding and abetting violence against women out of a politically correct-fueled fear of offending Muslims. The big 3 news networks all refuse to report on the charges in their morning and evening news broadcasts. Print media published a few articles about the case, Yet not one of them mentioned the religion of the doctor or the connection between Islam and genital mutilation. Although this issue is ignored by the media, the Trump administration is committed to protecting young girls, cracking down on those who mutilate them, and eradicating the barbaric cultural practice. The Justice Department estimates that over 500,000 young girls in America are the victims of female genital mutilation or are at high risk. We need to find the rest of the people who do this, with or without the media. Do you think this is happening in your neighborhood? Please share the story on Facebook and tell us what you think because we want to hear your voice. Breaking, North Korea just issued staggering new threat against America-Ashes. North Korea launched another round of aggressive rhetoric at the United States on Thursday as media reports indicated troops in both China and South Korea were on high alert. As a major military anniversary approached Tuesday, North Korea's state-run Rodong Sinmun newspaper hurled a threat at the United States. In the case of our supermighty preemptive strike being launched, it will completely and immediately wipe out not only U.S. imperialist invasion forces in South Korea and its surrounding areas but the U.S. mainland and reduce them to ashes, read the newspaper. South Korea said it was bracing for possible provocations as North Korea prepares to celebrate the 85th anniversary of the foundation